I think it was like our last episode was supposed to be 5, and then 5 turned out to be your reaction,
Oh shoot,
and then
that's what happened.
yeah,
Because
and
I
then
switched it to 5. The
and then, so
Spartan
your
one.
reaction is 5,
Oh,
and
shoot.
then
So there's two
Spartan is
fives.
6. But I had like cut out Spartan being like, yeah, BEASTcamp podcast episode 5.
Oh, shoot.
And I wanted to be like,
Then
BEASTcamp episode 5. But I didn't. So
then I need to change it because I changed it to 5. I was like, oh. Anyways,
it is currently
6.
we are on 7.
Yeah. So hopefully my part will be really quick. I have a special guest here
Not
that I'll
me.
introduce later. Yeah, he's just
It's
gonna
not
pop
me.
out of
Yeah.
the screen. But yeah, obviously to keep us consistent and the promise of keeping y'all updated with what's going on with me, and then how I see KRUMP or just in general. So, but this episode will not even like be that because I'm just tired. So I'll keep y'all updated with what happened with me and just kind of talk about that really quick. So yeah, literally since my reaction to the tie-dyes video, then went to Costa Rica, which was amazing. Shout out to Jose, J Combat, Amperage. So it was amazing. Congrats on him for his facility. Which I'll go over in the future podcast. I just gave him my all, and then we dropped the podcast when I was on the way back, and I was so like nervous, just how people would perceive it, because I try to make it as clear as day as like I wasn't trying to create more conflict, just trying to create more understanding, and just like my perspective on the subject of like religion and KRUMP, or just religion in general. But I do really appreciate everyone's feedback about it. It is overwhelming, because it's just a lot. I'm really happy that from like everywhere, even at the all-style event we just went to, like hella people went up to me that aren't even KRUMPers but watch the BEASTcamp. That's already crazy to me. But then watch that specific episode and, told me like they were hurt by the church, they're a pastor's kid, yada, yada, yada. So it does mean a lot, but let's slow it down. Because, it's something that I'm like, dang, still getting used to. And I'm getting a lot of that from just being a dancer in general, and in this position. And then like, for something like spirituality or morality or how you live life is so huge of a responsibility that I don't want to be a reason why a lot of life changes happens for y'all. But anyways, came back. We did that all-style event with Concrete and News. We won, and we did a speech. I don't know if anyone like recorded it, but Bad News said it. But he spoke for all of us that like it was huge that it was a team of not just KRUMPers, but like a high level KRUMPers. And you would see us in these random teams, like me and then like 2 other styles, or like News and like Frantic, and News, Frantic, and Super Dave. But it was I think one of the first times that happened in LA where it was like, greats, whatever you want to call them, pioneers and whatnot, to join a huge
I think it's crazy because the level. I think like we've seen in all styles events, we've seen KRUMP like duos or sometimes trios or whatnot. But like the level of skill that you guys have, and the level, like the importance, the authority that each one of your names holds, it was like crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait for the first battle to drop. I don't know where they're gonna edit it, but right when we walked on the floor, the DJ played like whoa, but he only played the instrumental, and I like did this walk, and we all was like, you know, doing it to the zoom, and everyone was like, oh, it's starting. But then like it was like, oh no, this is just the battle intro. And the DJ Roxa, shout out to him, he was like, you can see him like, oh wait, I'm just trying to introduce this battle, you know. But we were so like ready and so comfortable that like, you know, we do this all the time, so we didn't even need like the crowd per se. We just had our hype like with each other, you know. So yeah, that battle was lit. The versus style battle was lit. Breeze Lee was calling us like cuss words like after news got off on him. He was like, you mother effer, like you want to battle mother effer. Like, he called him the B word, like B. I was just crying, like I broke my character. I was like, yo. But the crowd, it seemed like they were levitating and shaking at the same time. I was like, looking back, I was like, this feels like you got served, but for real though, you know. So yeah, it was just dope to.
Yeah, I saw clips of that battle, and it was electrifying.
Yeah.
Like it was like, that's some like WWF word,
Yeah.
but like it was that though. It really felt like a freaking Raw's War, freaking WWF Attitude Era type excitement. Like I really felt like somebody was gonna come out of the stands, and like hit somebody with a chair,
bro. Anything could
and then
happen.
get off.
Anything, bro. But yeah. So we did that, you know, obviously just to prepare, and you're there all day. So we're a guest team battle. So my call time was at 1, but we didn't even dance until 7. So to kind of be on and off prepping, on and off like being in character, and then like kind of putting your adrenaline down, blah blah blah, you know, like was just exhausting. And then we got to the battle. But yeah, it was worth it. And yeah, it was just great. Like people was saying that like they felt KRUMP, you know, just in a different way and stuff.
So let's talk about the battle with the judges.
Yeah,
I think there's one point that was like crazy because it really switched and it was like when Yaya was going off, and what was going through your guys' heads when Yaya was first dancing to the point to where you're like, all right, F this. Let's go Hyper. She's the homie. Because it was kind of long.
Right.
You did let her just like kind of be out there.
I don't know. Like, I don't want it to sound like something, but in the moment, I was just thinking like, dang, like she's getting off, you know, pretty long, and she was doing amazing. But I was like, man, like if she had what we were giving each other, like the hype, then I know she would go the next level, you know. That's what we were doing all night. So at the end of the day, especially she chose the style KRUMP because she can do other styles. So the fact that she did KRUMP, I was like, oh yeah, we're still representing KRUMP, you know. So yeah, that's when it just clicked to me, like, come on man, let's hype her up. Concrete News. And then when we put our arm out and she threw the hat and caught it on beat too, and I was like, yo, go over here, because she was in that little corner, you know, which she told me like right when we saw each other, and she's like, hey, so who's your team? And I was like, oh, Concrete and News. And she was like, fuck. And I was like, why? She's like, because the judges have to battle the winners. And she's like, damn, like I'm not gonna KRUMP against y'all. Like, so I already knew her mindset of like, obviously that's a huge team to go against, you know. But yeah,
I think it's so cool because it was such a three big brothers little sister moment.
Right.
Like you gave that time to her to be like, all right, go ahead, like do what you need to do,
right.
And then after a while it was like I was just imagining you guys just all looking at each other and just like knowing, be like, all right, it's been long enough, let's go. And the hype was so real. And,
like the battle version of me was like, okay, I won this round, now let's like I was like waited. I was like, okay, this is the highest she can go, you know. And yeah, she said it too, like, yeah, thank y'all for that, you know. Obviously she was mad tired from judging all day, and you know, and just like the pressure and whatnot. So yeah, it was super fun. And people, that was another moment too, like that people was like, wow, like you guys did that for her. And, you know, even though you guys were in a battle sense, it really shows the culture of KRUMP that, like, you know. So, yeah, people were saying that was, like, the highlight of the night. A lot of the females, too, felt that. Yeah, and it was just mad funny because, yeah, during my round, we were so tired, and I was last. So I was like, dang, let me try to put this as high as I can. And, you know, I don't know why I did the haka, and I was like, well, we always do it shirtless, so let's do a shirtless KRUMP round. And then, yeah, she was like, well, I'm gonna go shirtless too. So, yeah, it was just mad funny. But, yeah, again, it just shows, you know, I was just saying it all night, like, this is why all styles, open styles, like, need KRUMP, you know, and at its fullest potential, too. And shout out to Rock Swift. I think every battle he at least played, like, one KRUMP related track. So he played, like Whoa.
Yeah.
And then I think with Versus Style, he played, like, a legit KRUMP track, or either, yeah, and then in the finals, he played Annie Up. And then in the judges, I had the KRUMP track. So, yeah, and again, you guys can see just the benefit of it, which is a funny and sad conversation that's like, hey, like, I know we kind of had a weird stigma with this scene, but, you know, we love it. And I know we're like battle heavy and KRUMP versus everyone, and KRUMP isn't this and KRUMP isn't that, but yeah, there's more narratives about us and the all-style scene. So I think that was like a big statement too.
Yeah, and I think it's appropriate for who was on your team. Right. Like, you have been really killing it in the all styles and the open styles scene with your KRUMP. And before that, like, News has always been that.
Yeah, it is like his 4th time winning this event.
Yeah, like, that's crazy. And he's always been connected to it. And Concrete also has that connection to the industry side of things. And so for you three to match up, it just kind of made sense that eventually all three of you would be on a team.
I mean, I wish Concrete was here, but I'll speak up for him a little bit. But, you know, with everything that he went through this year and, like, coming back, it was a huge statement for him, you know, that, like, he just isn't tight on the TikTok or on that type of, like, he's still really good in the field. And I told him, I was like, bro, your get off is so good and, like, refreshing that you don't even need to do tricks. Like, every time he got off, it was like people just felt it. It was electrifying. I was like, that's why when it was a tiebreaker for Versus Styles and us, I was like, can you please do it? Because, you know, yeah, and he's such a battle tested person that he's even one person that I study to, like, how to battle and how to approach a battle. So it was just good. We'll get him on here soon to talk about it because he has a lot to say. But
a lot. I feel like he has a lot to say.
But I mean, I respect that about him, that he'll go in the face of whatever it is, like, if it's adversity, if it's, like, controversy, if it's, like, even victory, you know, like, he will always show up and, like, tackle it head on. So him showing up was really big.
Yeah, what was your guys' team name?
Our original team name that we wanted to do was, like, $3, I guess, but I didn't go to the registration line at all, so they just kept saying BEASTcamp. So I was like, oops. Yeah, and then on YouTube it's like Team Beast. So I was like, well, it makes sense because I was the team captain guest. So yeah, but yeah, we wanted to do like $3 or something like that. But I mean, it matters, but as of right now, it's something that we have to keep consistent, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love to keep collabing with those two, specifically. Yeah. So
I had like this thought that they would just call you, like, they would just be like, oh, it's just the KRUMPers.
The KRUMP. Right.
the KRUMPers.
Those KRUMPers.
Those KRUMPers over there.
Dang old KRUMPers. And then, yeah, after that, the Arizona footage came out. And obviously, you know, with all the talk that comes with it, Again, like I'm just kind of spread thin with a lot of just what's been happening, and this is why the podcasts be helping, because it's like my way to vent and my way for y'all to really get like where I'm coming from. But we already talked about that in the DS4 recap. And again, it's like, just don't take away from the dancers in general. Like, I'm not saying put it all on the judges, but because I've been in situations where my judgments was questioned, like at the illest, and at like certain stuff. But at the end of the day, like, it's just a battle, and if you ask the dancers, it's crazy that they are the ones that least care about the outcome. Like, I talked to Brutal right after, and we enjoyed it. I was like, I would have been down for a second round, because it was that lit. Even though I still felt like skill wise I won, but I'd be down. And then, or if they gave it to him, I wouldn't even be like mad. I'd be like, okay, I could see, he got liver than me. And then same with Baby Solo, like we talked, and I talked to his dad, I talked to everyone that mattered. So a lot of y'all online low-key don't matter that are talking. Oh man, that's just me being funny / petty. But yeah, and then same with that. If it was a different judge panel, maybe, if it was a different time of day, if it was, I don't know. But even I was ready, like, okay, like I could see why people are saying he would win or they preference him, and whatever. But basically what I'm saying is, like, we as the dancers don't take it that seriously, and like don't, I don't know, like in a sense, like don't speak up for us, but also don't try to like tarnish our experience with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really enjoyed that exchange with both of them, to where, yeah, if I would love to go a two round with them, and I would love to battle them in the street, like, so next time probably when I see Baby Solo, I'll battle him in the street. So because I enjoyed that, and because I would want him to, even if he can really get me, then he can get me. That's no problem with me. That is absolutely no problem. Same with Brutal. That is absolutely no problem. If he can get me, he can get me. Like, I understand, I'm not saying like I'm the old guy or getting the old guy, but it's like these new generation is really bringing a new flavor that can question the old flavor type stuff, so, and that's why you have to stay on game. That's why I did the tournament too. Yeah, I wanted the money, but I wanted to test my skill. I was like, if, especially with the people that I haven't battled besides Taminator, like, all right, these are people that are kind of in the front line. Am I just as good in this generation like how I was in my generation? And
I think it's so easy. It's so easy for you to be in your place that you are right now, and to say, no, I'm good. I just came to watch.
Right.
Nobody would question that.
Right.
So the fact that you are showing up and you could say that and nobody would question it, nobody would think any type of way, and you say, oh no, we're going to go through this whole tournament.
Yeah.
That says a lot, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and again, like, it's just fun for me. So this is why, again, I want to do these podcasts, so y'all could see my mindset. Like, yeah, when, I explained in the other podcast with the whole Bilo situation, but I wasn't even mad at him. I was not even mad. I was just addressing, like, hey, if y'all didn't super hype up what, like, him getting off on me and kind of gave him room to work and use that hype to, like, because we all knew he needed that pickup, and it's an easy pickup to get off on Beast. It's an easy pickup to get off on a Concrete, on a Crush, on a Todd Eyes, on a Miho. That's an easy pickup. I did that versus Miho, so then, yeah, but so that's the two conversation is like, it's an easy pickup to battle, someone that, oh my god, like, is he beatable today? And then, oh, it looks like it, but then, like, let them work, if you crowd around them and stuff. And again, his dad, and even him agreed that like, dang, like, you know, I should have really showcased my skill when the hype was up, you know. And the same with Brutal. I told him, I said, bro, after you did you know, what you did on me, before you did that role, you should have did a character. You should have got off for just like more, maybe 1 or 2 seconds, you know, and then transition to that roly shit. Then I'd be like, yeah, it has to be a tie, because that's something that's really mature to do. So, and again, I told all of them that. And this is what I'm saying is like, y'all are ruining the experience for us. I mean, it's not ruining the experience for me, but like, I don't know. So anyways, yeah, that happened. I mean, with the whole whatever Icon said to J-Rex, you know, is at the JR or whatever. And again, I talked to Icon, and, you know, I'm not trying to speak for him, but he talked to J-Rex, and they're chill about it. They understand, you know, it's just battle and whatnot. But again, like, Icon is a nice dude. J-Rex is one of the nicest dudes I ever met too. But yeah, they can both get in that battle mode. But I guess Icon was just in his, like, you know, talking crap mode. And then if y'all want to see it in the street, I want to see it in the street. So that's fine, you know. But again, like, it's the ask the dancers personally, you know, how do they feel versus like, I don't know, you know. I think that's just something that should be suggested. Like, so how do you feel? Do you feel robbed? Do you feel, you know, because even after the footage came out, I was like, Brutal, this is still my favorite exchange in a while, you know. And I appreciate you. I even commented, shared his stuff. And do I still think I won? Yeah. But do I still think it could have been a second round? Yes. And could have been him too with certain judgments? Yes. And I would have been fine with each one, you know what I'm saying? And I just think, yeah, y'all just need to know the frustration that, like, it's just something that's so common. Like, if I'm in a tournament, if I'm in a street battle, especially when I go overseas, like, and they just start touching me and start, like, getting off on me as material, and it just gets super hype, and it's like, it's over, and I'm like, is it though? Or are y'all just hyped that someone's getting off on me? And then after that, they're just spazzing out and they're not displaying their skill, you know? To where, yeah, that's what I tried to show with Bilo. Like, yeah, I'll not even touch you, but go to you and then still show certain skills, still show, like, timing with, like, my little sleeve move. And when yeah, it's not the most exciting thing because it's so difficult to do. Like, you know, after I did that, took off his head, I was like, yep, I'm live. But instead of spazzing out, I'm like, let me keep building. But anyways, at the end of the day, we don't care as dancers. And yeah, it's not like y'all taking the fun away, but we just don't care. So I think I'm going to end this section with just saying, like, you know, I'm just really spread thin. You know, with the Costa Rica trip, like, I ended up DJing and judging at the same time. So I'm looking for tracks and, like, watching and judging. And that's, like, two things that you have to be kind of self-aware of and self-conscious of. Like, oh my God, are these the tracks that they like? Am I playing bangers?
That's why you literally hire two different people for that, because it takes all that.
And then the judging, you know, because it's still a growing movement, I knew my judging was, like, you know, kind of questionable to them. So I had to stop sometimes and say, are you guys okay? I'll explain. So I had to explain, you know, which is totally fine, and, you know, and all of that. So yeah, and then I always feel like crap when I watch people go through a tournament and then I do like a 1-minute judge showcase. Like, that's not me. I'm a dancer first. That's not even what I do. I battle. So I was like, please let me session for like 5 minutes or 30 minutes. Jose was like, okay, 30 minutes. I was like, all right, bet. I'm battling you. So I battled the 5 people that, you know, I wanted to battle. And yeah. And then I just give my all, you know. So then, yeah. And then just with the whole feedback, good and bad, with my response to Todd Eyes. Personally, like, the personal feedback and, like, publicly, again, it just, like, kind of spreads me, you know, like, it just kind of gets me tired. There's a lot of back-to-back stuff. And then with the KRUMP team, And again, just with the conversations I'm walking around, conversation about that. And then when we won, like me, News, and Concrete, the night after, like we all slept like around 4 or 5. And then we all woke up at like 7 because I was seeing them post on their story. I was like 7 minutes ago. It's like, so we couldn't sleep because we were so hyped, and everyone was. That was the crazy thing.
Yeah.
When we went to the barbecue, everyone was like, bro, we couldn't sleep because the energy, bro. And I think it's really because of y'all. Like even the popping category, like, transcended. Anyways, so yeah, and then with the AZ footage and stuff, and again, like, I'm just tired, but I just want to leave y'all with just some gems. If y'all feeling like this, just take a break, and try to take a break, even if you can't. Like right now with me, I can't take a break until like after my trip with El Salvador tomorrow. Even try to take a break like 1 hour in the day, like take break of social media for an hour, anything that will overstimulate you. I could talk about this all day, but really understand the chemicals that your body produces. So if you're running out of serotonin, you're going off of adrenaline and like cortisol, which is good when you're about to do something like a battle or you're about to fight. But if you're depleted in serotonin and you're only going off of your reserve of adrenaline, imagine your body is ready to fight 24/7, but your body's not supposed to be like that. So that's why we get burnt out more. So I'm not gonna talk about that. Y'all could Google it. There's so much pictures and memes about like how to replenish yourself, like serotonin, dopamine, all of that. Even like biblically too, like in the 10 commandments, the number 3 commandment is the Sabbath, and keep the Sabbath, and I find that really interesting that it's in the lines of like loving God, because I look at it as like when we rest, he doesn't rest. And I think as a leader and as a person that's like addicted to hard work, we think when we stop working, the work doesn't go, you know what I'm saying? But if you believe in God, no matter if you don't or not, no matter if you don't or you do, he's still gonna be working for you, so, and he wants the best version of you. So yeah, take that break. And I'm like I told you on the last one, I'm reading John, and it's crazy that like Jesus was doing miracles on the Sabbath, and that's why they were tripping. They're like, you supposed to be resting, how are you doing miracles on the day of rest? So they took it mad seriously. And obviously, some rules don't apply and some stuff don't apply to us, but it's just mad inspiring that they really take that day to rest. And even God himself rested, not because he needed to, but because it was just important, and for us to follow his example. So
I think with that is like, not even like, just on some realness, is like you work a lot. Like you have like, everybody here has some certain level of production of some of work. Enjoy it. Like
Right.
take a second and just step back and be like, man,
Right.
I did all that, and now I get to rest in it.
Right.
And man, that was one of the big things I had to really like learn this past year, getting ready for this, opening up the studio, is how to just be okay with taking a moment to yourself, or going out on a date with my wife and not doing anything else, or doing, man, there's a lot of work to be done. But if you're not replenishing your energy, replenishing your soul, then what happens is that you burn out, you struggle, and the work gets worse. You don't do as much.
You're not the perfect employee.
You're not as productive as you really think when you're
and you could lash out on people and lash out on yourself and whatnot. So I'm getting not weird, but I'm getting quick tips on the top of my head too. So what helps me out with burnout, besides like taking rest, with the Sabbath and whatnot, and letting God just work when you're not working, and trusting him too, But yeah, so quick tips if you're feeling burnt out, overworking. Yeah, rest. Just because you're resting, that doesn't mean God is resting, and that doesn't mean if you stop working, God is not working. So let Him work. There are only things that He can do. Also, um, yeah, and also what helps is the living in increments. So some people do it by 8 hours, because of their work. Some people do it by 4 hours. Some people do it by 2 hours, even 1 hour, even 1 minute. So whatever is the most bearable for you, like if this minute is what you can live by, then that's what you can live by. If it's for this next hour, like, all right, I have to do something. And yeah, so you can live like that. And the reason why it helps me is because when I think too much of what I have to do and all of that, yeah, you could stress yourself out, especially if you're burnt out. And
There's
just
a really cool trick that I've used in the past, and I know other people, where you just set like work timers. Like if your best time of working is 4 hours, set a 4 hour timer and just run with it. But there's other people that are like, I get the most done in 15 minutes.
Yep.
Set a 15-minute timer, work, and then once you're done, like it goes off, take a break.
You're done. Yep. Yeah, so don't be in that pressure that, again, you always have to be on, you always have to be this, yeah. And then yeah, really pay attention to the small great things in life. Yeah, that just helps so much with whatever little thing is going right. Hold on to that, and that helps me a lot. And the last one is just don't make it worse. If any advice I could give y'all if you're burnt out or if you're going through a tough time, just try your best to not make it worse. We are very tough people and we can endure a lot. But it just sucks when we try to make it worse. You know what I mean? So, yeah, don't try to do that. Just get through it, however that means, with people, resting, recalculating. But as much as you can, try not to make it worse, because tragedy is better than like hell, like absolute hell. And that just reminds me of, yeah, I read that in Jordan Peterson's book. It was his last rule. And he said something that I related to a lot, which was, it just sucks at like he used the example of people fighting during a funeral. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the worst thing that can happen. But my family experienced that too, to where when my grandma passed, it was just so much quarrel going on that it was just not a good place to be, and we couldn't even like really grieve because so yeah, that's just something personal of mine. But again, I don't mind sharing, because just don't make it worse, y'all. Like, if anything, there's a lot that's happening, and yeah, just do your best. That you don't want to make it worse, and whatnot. Take a break, take a breather, literally take a breath. Yeah, I don't know if I want to put this on here, but I do just have to acknowledge that, like, we lost Twitch today. Really big one for the dance community. Like, my personal encounterments with him has just been super genuine. When I did So You Think You Could Dance, like street versus stage, and he was the street coach, he knew a lot of us. That's already a testament to his character. He knew me, he knew Yaya, he knew even like people that weren't even, let's say, popular like us in a sense, but he knew just a lot of us. He was mad encouraging, even though when the competition was getting hard, because a lot of the street dancers couldn't do choreo. So he was saying it in the nicest but stern way to get our choreo together. And then yeah, and then he hooked me up and Yaya with the job on Ellen, you know, because they were looking for like KRUMP slash animators, and that's just, as you can see from today, like so many people was saying like he put so many people on with like opportunities, like the hip hop Nutcracker. Obviously, so many people were on Ellen because he was that plug, and he's just more than Ellen's DJ. So please, like, he was like really, and is like really in the streets, you know, like in the street dance culture. And he was such a big fan, and he was so concerned. Even during the rehearsals for that Ellen job we did, and we were done, he just looked at me. He was like, "Man, let's talk about you versus Todd Eyes, man." I was like, "Man, so what do you think?" And then, you know, he was like, "I'm just saying, bro. I don't know KRUMP, but I'm just saying, man." So I was just like crying. Like, I was like, "Bro, you can say what you want." He's like, "I don't know. I don't," you know. So he was just super encouraging me that I did like a really good job versus Todd Eyes at the BEASTcamp event. And yeah, he was a big fan that, you know, that he watched almost all the battles, you know, and he was so in tune with like every street dance culture. And the last time I seen him, we were getting a haircut from News, and that's when the whole 7M situation was going on. And, you know, he just showed nothing but concern, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, not talking crap, not nothing. He was just like, "Man, what's going on, man?" Like, you know, I think he did a job with them or something. He's like, "Man, like, you know, what can we do to kind of like help with the situation?" It wasn't on a weird energy, like he said, she said, or, you know, like taking sides. It was more just like concern and how can we help. So, yeah, for me, you know, it just makes me look to do work like that, you know, and I think that's a huge reason why we want to be in these high places, so we can bring our people up to these high places. And that's exactly what he did, you know. So it was just like a weird motivator at this time. Like, man, like, look at the legacy and look at, you know, like the example that he gave. Like, you know, let's really keep doing it that way, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, just check on your people, you know, and just be kind. Like, damn, it's dance. At the end of the day, I'm talking about street dance and KRUMP. It's just dance. And a lot of the stuff that y'all say, like, y'all don't know the power of words, you know. So just really be careful. Really, really be careful. That, you know, just to maybe use our words more for kindness. And if there is concern, then try to wrap it around grace and kindness, because yes, everyone needs correction once in a while, but yeah.
I think it's crazy. It's like one of those newses that like they you just don't understand. Like, it can't be real. And I think everybody who is listening to our podcast, everybody who watches us, has been influenced by Twitch,
For sure.
and you know, it's crazy to see how many everybody's post that I've seen today. It wasn't just a picture like his headshot. It was a picture of him followed by a video or a picture when they met, or a picture when they connected, or a video when Twitch put him on, because it just showed how just caring, and how, man, just how like he didn't just pave the road for people in our industry, man. He freaking dug the trench. He put the gravel. He did so much. To not even just dancers trying to dance in the industry, but dancers who are just trying to create something. He wasn't a studio owner, but he taught me how to build something around dance. Like, he didn't just be a dancer. He became a producer. He became a DJ. He became this face, this host.
Yeah.
And it was because of his love for dance.
Yeah.
And then, man, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like every single, like, man, I was just like trying to work today, and it's like one of those things that just pops into your head, and you're like, you have to shake your head because it doesn't seem real. But man, I'm just praying, man. I'm praying for Allison and their kids, man. That's
for sure.
It's insane.
Yeah, I think they're doing something Saturday. I don't know if it's an online thing, whatnot. I don't know when this is gonna be put out, but yeah, I seen one thing like about that. So, well, this was longer than I expected. So, yeah. But just to end on that note, you know, it just hit me because I'm just like, you know, it's close to home, and you know, he was a hero to a lot of us. Yeah, I don't even know what to say, but oh man, I knew it too, like, cause it was a message from Concrete. I woke up pretty late, like 11 today, and I saw his message first, and it was just bro, and I said, damn, what's going on? I went to Facebook immediately, and it was his status, and it said Twitch, no way, and I was like, no way. So I went on Instagram, and it was just the craziest way to wake up. Yeah, so yeah, let's just leave it at that, you know. Yeah, please just find rest. I guess it ties into what I was talking about. I think that's why it popped up. Just find rest, find people to talk to. Yeah, just find all these things that maybe isn't encouraged for some reason, or makes you feel like you're weak, or makes you feel like you're not working. But don't listen to that voice. I think, yeah, just take your time, set up boundaries, you know. We can't always stop people's opinions, but you could set boundaries of how much you hear it, when you hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's times, like, when I landed from Costa Rica, I was like, okay, I'm not going to look on my phone for like 6 hours. I'm going to just unpack, shower, eat, blah, blah, blah. And I said, here we go. I wonder what people thought about the last podcast. And then, yeah, and it was just more positive than I thought. So I said, okay, cool. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if I was burnt out or whatever, and then let's say if it was a lot of negative comments, like, it would have been more damaging to me mentally, you know. So
I would say find, like, for dancers, find connections that are separate from dancers too. Find, if you whatever industry you're in, find those connections that are going to bless your soul, bless your mental, your mind, that are not just always dancing, that is not just always doing that industry.
yeah,
Man, because it's like sometimes I'd be going day after day after day at the studio, and if you only surround yourself by people that are on that same, you're not going to find rest by going to a session or going to another dance class or hanging out with your dancers and they just want to dance. So be able to create connections outside of your industry as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, stay encouraged, guys. Yeah, this is either one episode or half of an episode.
Nah, this will be one episode.
One episode. All right, guys, this is one episode, and we're filming another one right away. Stay tuned.